North Texas teenager killed after a stab at a track meet.
With heavy winds barreling through North Texas, see how severe weather might affect your weekend.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV Nightly News.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us on ntTV Nightly News. I'm Avery Callens.
And I'm Aaliyah Bordeaux. A North Texas teenager was stabbed to death at a track meet earlier today. Police say the person who killed him was also a student. It happened around 10 a.m. to David Kirkendall Stadium in Frisco. Police say the 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony stabbed a 16-year-old boy during a fight. No other motive has been discussed and the victim's name has not been released. However, he was reportedly a student at another high school in Frisco. Anthony is charged with murder. He is still in jail this afternoon with no bond set. All right, Avery, this weather has been, it's been a mix, definitely. Springtime's been a mix.
Yes, for sure, Aaliyah. And the clouds this morning were a little scary, but let's go ahead and take it over to our weather anchor, Faith Webster, to see if they're going to be looking the same tonight. Faith?
Thanks, guys. That's right. There are clouds in the sky with our temperatures at 82, feeling like 81 with our wind at 6 miles per hour. Tonight, those clouds are going to go away just for a little bit with our temperatures dropping down to 74, feeling the exact same with our wind at 5 miles per hour. Tomorrow, that rain is going to be showing up like we've been talking about with our actual temperatures at 58, feeling like 55 with that wind coming up to 13 miles per hour. We do have that severe weather coming up later in the show, and I'll have more on that. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Faith. The growing measles outbreak continues to get worse, and a new case has been confirmed in North Texas, about 100 miles southwest of Denton. The case is one of nearly 425 statewide.
Almost all of these people are people who were not vaccinated or whose vaccination statuses were unknown. Here in North Texas, resources to contain the outbreak are disappearing. The cuts by the Trump administration in funding health services has forced Dallas County to cancel more than 50 planned vaccination clinic appointments. The county was also forced to lay off nearly 24 health workers who were helping administer vaccines.
It's not just North Texas dealing with cutbacks. This week, the Trump administration ordered massive job cuts within the federal health agencies. People who were laid off are amongst those who work to fight the COVID-19 pandemic. There is now a widespread concern about the country's ability to battle a health crisis. CNN's Laura Aguirre has the latest.
These folks have no idea what harm they're causing.
But these changes have to be made for the future of our government.
Opposing views on the seismic downsizing within agencies under the Department of Health and Human Services, a move that HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. recently called a shift to new priorities.
Especially ending the chronic disease epidemic with clean water, safe food, effective medicine, good science.
The exact number of job cuts that began Tuesday not immediately clear, but last week, Secretary Kennedy forecast that 10,000 full-time employees would be let go, on top of thousands of others who've already left, or probationary employees who are on administrative leave.
I'm so sad as not only a federal worker, but as an American. I mean, just to no heart. There's just no sense to it.
They're just taking a hatchet to various agencies. That has an enormous impact on the health and safety, not only today and tomorrow, but 10 years from now.
Agencies including the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the National Institutes of Health, and the Food and Drug Administration, impacting work on HIV, injury prevention, reproductive health, minority health, smoking, violence prevention, and much more.
We have an entire office of Head Start who, they're gone. They're gone.
We have to be careful, but at the same time, we cannot continue to spend it the way that we are.
What remains will be merged into a new organization called the Administration for a Healthy America, or AHA, says Secretary Kennedy.
The entire federal workforce is downsizing now, so this will be a painful period for HHS.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
The Food and Drug Administration will be able to keep certain flavored vaping products off store shelves after the U.S. Supreme Court sided with government regulators today. This case stemmed from the FDA's refusing to grant approval for some vaping products to be sold. The health agency said those products were deliberately made to appeal to minors. However, today's ruling is not final because the High Court sent the case to a lower court for review. Vaping companies will also be able to reapply for FDA approval of their products.
Another bad habit many have is scrolling through their phones before bed, but new research suggests that might be doing more harm than we think. A new study finds a strong link between screen time in bed and poor sleep. Our reporter Jenny Inez is live with what this means for college students and some expert tips to improve sleep. Jenny?
Thanks, Aaliyah. We've all been guilty of scrolling on our phones late at night, but research shows that might be costing us more sleep. A new study in Norway finds that more screen time in bed is linked to higher risk of insomnia and shorter sleep duration. The study surveyed over 45,000 college students and found that each extra hour of screen time before bed was linked to a 63% increase in insomnia risk and an average of 24 fewer minutes of sleep. Experts say that while the study doesn't prove screens directly cause insomnia, the connection is clear. They recommend putting devices away at least 30 minutes before bed, sticking to a regular sleep schedule, and doing relaxing activities like reading or deep breathing to improve sleep quality. While it might be tempting to scroll on social media one more time before bed, experts suggest to not do that. That's all I have for you guys. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Jenny. If you go to the movies, you may have noticed a drop in our local theater crowds.
We'll tell you the reason why after the break.
Hey you! Yeah, you. Tax day is right around the corner, and the IRS has free resources to help you. Just visit their website or contact our volunteer income tax program at 800-906-9887. You don't want the IRS knocking at your door. Whew, I guess it's too late for you. Pay now or pay later with interest. File your taxes.
I wonder what's on the radio today. I don't know about this. This is not it.
Everything alternative, commercial free. 88.1 Indie.
Here at KNTU, we have two traditional stations, 88.1 Indie and KNTU Jazz. We've also recently launched an internet radio station called Mean Green Hits. If you want to hear more, you can check us out at MediaNorthTexas.com.
That was pretty good.
The past 24 hours has been a deadly and dangerous time on Denton highways. NTTV's Andy Scott is along I-35 with more on what has happened. Andy?
This live hit. Is it headlines or? Thanks, Avery. A multi-vehicle crash on the northbound side of I-35 has left 9 people injured. It happened at around 1 p.m. and many of the victims were in a passenger van. This crash happened a few miles north of the UNT campus. The road is now back open, but be careful as traffic may be piling up around the crash site. This happened just one day after a person was killed and several others were injured in a separate crash on the other side of I-35. Yesterday's crash involved an RV and 6 other vehicles. Right now, it's not clear what caused either of the wrecks to happen. That's all from me. Back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Andy. From singing along to Wicked to shuddering at The Substance, I sure do love going to the movies. But sadly, it seems some people aren't too thrilled about seeing some of these amazing films in theater. NTTV's Nadia Rodriguez may have the answer to why. Nadia?
Thanks, Avery. Unfortunately, many theaters across the U.S. have been struggling due to a lack of people going to the movies. NTTV's Landry got the chance to speak to some film lovers about this issue.
Right now, the theater-going experience is under threat. Movie theaters, especially independently owned theaters, are struggling, and it's up to us to support them.
That was part of Academy Award winner Sean Baker's speech for Best Director, where he dedicated his time on stage to discussing the struggles movie theaters, especially locally owned ones, are facing. Many factors play into these hard times, but the two biggest are large corporations and streaming services.
Having such big, chains like Cinemark and having so many close together low-key also diminishes local movie theaters and other local stuff like that.
According to the Motion Picture Association, theater attendance went down by 4% in 2021 due to the increase in streaming platforms. And while that number is expecting to grow, some people like UNT film professor Lori Hershey think that the movie theater experience will never die.
Shared experiences, shared likes, shared dislikes, all of that sort of thing is experienced at one time in the movie theater.
But we can't ignore the fact that theaters are being heavily affected by streaming platforms, so much so that they are willing to make big changes to stand out, which some people disagree with and think that the experience of going to a movie shouldn't be changed.
Just make it more of a bare bones experience, like some smaller theaters do, and you just have the sole focus be on the movie itself. I feel like you walk away with a greater appreciation of the film.
Regardless of people's opinions, theaters are doing whatever they can to stay afloat in the sea of streaming and large corporations. But just because they are struggling does not mean that people still don't love the act of going to the movies.
I feel like going to the movie theater was such a core memory in my head, with my dad and my parents and everything, that I feel like it needs to be brought back.
While there are so many movie theaters still open across the U.S., the threat of streaming and big corporations still stand. And if you want to do your part in keeping cinema alive, it's fairly simple. Buy a ticket and go watch a movie. For North Texas Television, I'm Landry Brady.
Make sure to grab some popcorn and a soda or an iced tea if you're like me, and go catch a movie at one of the many DFW theaters. See you at the movies. Back to you ladies at the desk. Thanks, Nadia. This afternoon, President Trump announced the latest step in his tariff plan. He says it will spur manufacturing in the U.S., but many economists warn he is steering the economy towards slower growth and higher prices. Today's announcement ensures that almost every product imported into the country will come with an extra tax. Trump says the will to restore the balance of trade is in our favor. That is likely to cause inflation to climb after months of falling. The president says it will be worth it for Americans because trade will become more fair.
We will charge them approximately half of what they are and have been charging us. So the tariffs will be not a full reciprocal. I could have done that, yes, but it would have been tough for a lot of countries. We didn't want to do that.
Several countries, including Canada, Mexico, and China, have already promised to respond to these tariffs. That means virtually everything that comes into the U.S. from overseas, from cars to computers, will be more expensive soon.
Elon Musk has been the top cheerleader for the new Trump administration, but recently the president has reportedly told his inner circle it's time for Musk to return to his businesses and take on less of a leading role in government. According to Politico, this move comes because of frustration with Musk's unpredictability and a growing view that the billionaire is a political liability. Since Inauguration Day, Musk has posted his plans to gut federal agencies on the social media site X without White House approval. Just a month ago, Trump said Musk was, quote, here to stay. No official announcement about Musk's role in the White House has been made.
Elon Musk may not be the only one running out of time. It looks like the clock is running out on TikTok too. There are several buyers from the controversial app, including Amazon, a social media influencer, an artificial intelligence company, and a group of billionaires led by the owner of the Los Angeles Dodgers. U.S. officials have been worried about the ownership of TikTok, as a Chinese company could pose a threat to this country. We should know that the outcome by Saturday, which is the deadline for the Chinese company to sell the app.
Now, Aaliyah, I don't play many video games, but I do love me some Call of Duty Zombies.
I play here and there, Fortnite, Madden, but I can't take the game with me.
I totally agree. Well, luckily there is a new option for you and all of the other gamers out there. Nintendo has unveiled more information about their new console with the Switch 2, with a release date, new games, and a price tag.
The original Switch came out 8 years ago with the worldwide success, and Nintendo is looking to hit it right out the park again. The company disclosed the design and compatibility in January, but on Wednesday, they revealed more about what we want to know. Coming up on June 5th, the $450 asking price, the company is rearing up to hit the ground running when it comes out.
Aaliyah, it is getting warmer outside, but you know, it's Texas, so we have no idea if this weather is here to stay.
I agree, Avery. I'm not sure if I should be wearing my hoodies, my t-shirts, I don't know. But let's send it over to Faith Webster to see what we should expect for the weekend. Faith?
Thanks, guys. Across North Texas, we are going to see a wide range of variety of temperatures. Paris at 67 with our highest in Fort Worth at 83. Across the state of Texas, we are going to see, again, that wide range of temperatures. For this 7-day forecast, our weekend is going to be quite rainy with those severe storms, with 92% rain on Friday and Saturday. With our Sunday, our clouds are going to come back, and we are going to see sunshine throughout the end and beginning of this week, with our temperature starting to rise again at 76. Spring showers can include some scary severe weather chances such as hail, flooding, and even tornadoes. 2 tornadoes were reported touching down early this morning in the Oklahoma area. One tornado left a 10-mile path of damage in the town of Owasso. There has been no injuries reported according to the authorities. The police have surrounded the damaged areas with barricades, asking traffic and the community to steer clear during this time. I know I have received several emails about the severe weather recently from UNT. Please remember to be aware of the conditions heading towards your area. Charge your devices, stay indoors, and know your emergency floor plans. Thank you. Remember to stay safe, and back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Faith. When we come back, I'll share what I learned about Denton's newest resource center.
And if you want soup during the future space trip to the moon, scientists have just the thing. Don't go anywhere.
The City of Denton is receiving a 6.5-acre resource center for the survivors of domestic violence. This is thanks to Denton County's Friends of the Family organization. Last week, the nonprofit announced it's relocating their Family Justice Center along North Bonnie Bray Street. The organization's executive director, Tony Johnson Simpson, said the biggest issue their clients are facing is finding reliable transportation to their multiple resource centers. The construction of this new center will solve this problem by centralizing all of their resources. In addition, the nonprofit is looking to double its emergency housing occupancy to hold 80 beds. With the approval of City Council, the nonprofit is now just looking for an engineering firm to start construction. They hope to start as soon as possible and complete the first phase by 2026.
While you go through your everyday classes, many students across campus may find themselves struggling, not because they aren't working hard, but because they fall under a neurodiverse spectrum. UNT held an event Monday with a panel of speakers informing UNT all about neurodiversity. Our segment anchor Mardisa Bender can tell us all about it. Mardisa?
Neurodiversity describes individuals who experience variation and differences in the way they learn, communicate, process information, and overall experience the world. And it is necessary that colleges around the world help provide the proper resources and help needed for this community. Luckily, UNT held an event educating students about neurodiversity, and I got the chance to experience this event and learn more about the topic. Let's take a look. In an average college, about 10 to 30% of students are part of the neurodiverse community. And it is important that these students are not only given the help needed to learn, but are also surrounded by an accepting environment. Thankfully, UPC's Neurodiversity and Connections event gave me more insights into this topic. The event handed out free fidget toys, drawing pages, and included a raffle, but the main event was a panel of speakers who gave more insight into this topic. They spoke about their own personal experiences, the importance of accommodations, speaking out about your needs, steps needed to get a diagnosis, and more. I got the chance to speak to two speakers on the panel and hear their own stories and advice on the matter. Erica Bridges is a student on campus, and she told me how her learning and communication differences make school a struggle for her. She described her experience as the idea of having to figure out how to be a superhero in order to meet the rubric and get a good grade in class. She said that many people don't realize that even with accommodations, she still has to work super hard. Erica stressed the importance of teachers understanding students like her. Erica said she'd rather feel like a valued person instead of a number to tick off on grading, especially with all the hard work she puts in. Lauren Matthews, another panel speaker, is a clinical professor in the Department of Audiology and Speech-Language Pathology. She also started many of the programs here at UNT's Neurodiversity Initiative. She added on to the topic of how teachers can help out the community. She said that the neurodiverse community has not always been accepted or been responded to positively, so it's hard for students on that spectrum to open up. She says professors can help by starting that conversation and being accepting of differences within the first day of class or by mentioning it in their syllabus. Overall, this event was extremely helpful and shined a light on an important issue within colleges. Erica said these type of events helps educate people about the movement, makes her feel included, and reduces the stigma around the community. These events help bring UNT together and help people learn something new. And if you want to know more, make sure to look into UNT's Office of Disability Access. Whether you fall under the spectrum or not, it is important to continue doing research and staying educated in order to help those around you or yourself. Well, that's all from me. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Madisa. The weather has been a bit dicey, but this week with spring on the way, I cannot wait to ride my bike around Denton. However, I know of a few students who want to ride, but their bikes could use a little love. Luckily, UNT offers free bike repair services. NTTV's Titus King has more for us from the bike repair shop. Titus?
Thanks, Avery. UNT offers a free, and yes, I did say free, bike repair service, mobile bike shop, which is partnered with UNT's Transportation Services and We Mean Green Fund. NTTV's Kwang Lee has talked to the exec, Floyd, about what the bike shop can do for our students here on campus. Mr. Lee?
We do repairs here on bicycles for the students. Most of the repairs are fairly easy to do. Put in air in tires, lubricate chains, adjusting brakes. If it's something we cannot do here, then we recommend shops that are in Denton and town here for the students. If it's something like adjusting a derailleur or straightening a wheel, I don't have the tools or the knowledge to do that, so I tell the students go to another shop.
Now, if your ride needs some TLC because you don't want any scrubs, the UNT site offers you theft protection. It also offers you to schedule your own appointments, bike safety tips, and even cycling club info. Looking forward to seeing you guys cycling around. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Titus.
Thanks, Titus. Soup in space? There is now. After a 30-day experiment, scientists on the International Space Station managed to successfully ferment soybeans into miso, the first time any food has been fermented in space. They wanted to find out if it would taste different from soup on Earth. The answer, space miso, has a more roasted, nutty flavor. The findings could mean a bigger variety of foods for astronauts and maybe, well, for us.
That is so true, Leah. And unfortunately, the UNT men's basketball season looks like it's coming to an end.
They had a great run this season, but March Madness is not over yet. Let's send it over to our sports anchor, Jose Moreno, for more. Jose?
Looking to open a free chicken or statistically improbable Final Four, and an NBA legend finally gets his flowers. Don't go anywhere. We'll have more with you after these messages.
Are you looking for a fun club with travel opportunities? Dive into the UNT Swim Club. Practicing Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays from 7 to 9 p.m. at the Pole Recreation Center. We accept members at any skill level. For more information, reach out to us at unt.swimclub on Instagram.
Today, NBA legend and my favorite player, Carmelo Anthony, has officially announced as part of the 2025 Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. The debate of will he or won't he is officially over, as Carmelo has officially enshrined his name into basketball history. A standout at Syracuse University, he was picked at number 3 in the legendary 2003 NBA draft. But while Carmelo Anthony may have never won an NBA championship or an MVP, he racked up an eye-popping 28,000 points over his 19-year NBA career. He's also a 3-time Olympic gold medalist and is considered by many to be one of the best players of his generation. We here at ntTV congratulate Carmelo Anthony on his legendary career and for finally making the Hall of Fame after years of doubt. The madness is about to reach its rightful conclusion, and whilst the tournament wasn't as crazy as those in the past, this year's Final Four carries an interesting stat, as it is the first time in the history of the tournament to feature all 4 number 1 seeds. We got 2 exciting matchups as SEC powerhouses Auburn and Florida will duke it out to claim a spot in the final. Florida is the hottest team in basketball, carrying a high-powered offense, whilst Auburn have never gotten this far and are looking to make school history with their first ever final appearance. On the other side of the bracket, we have a basketball powerhouse in Duke going up against an underdog Houston team that had to fight and claw their way into the Final Four. Both games we played on Saturday, and I'm hoping for a Houston-Auburn final. Go Cougs! And to finish things off, I've got an amazing story on UNT tennis from my colleague and fellow ntTV sports reporter, Nicholas Violetti. Please take a look.
UNT Tennis continued their incredible season at home by taking down the Tarleton State Texans on Senior Day. The matchup went down to the wire as the 2 teams were tied at 3-3 with just 1 match remaining. Then, UNT's Carolina Ladner came through in the clutch with a 3-set victory to seal the win for Mean Green Tennis.
I was super focused and I put it in my head that I was going to win this one, and I think that was like one of the best sets I've played, so I'm really happy I got the win.
The win wraps up UNT's home schedule with an undefeated 8-0 record when playing at the Warren's Tennis Complex in Denton. On top of the win, it was a special afternoon for UNT senior Gianna Pilot as she played her final home match. Unfortunately, fellow senior Olivia Malm felt sick and couldn't play, but Pilot would end her home career on a high note with a 2-set win. She has been trusted to play on line 1 in all her singles matches this season, consistently taking on the best players that UNT's opponents have to offer.
You know, my teammates have been amazing, and I just think like the support has been awesome, and everybody around just has been awesome, and the home matches are great, the home crowd and everybody at UNT, and I just think all the support has been wonderful and has helped me grow into the person I am today, so I'm really thankful.
The Mean Green will now head to Wichita to take on Wichita State and Creighton this weekend before finishing the regular season next weekend against Abilene Christian. For North Texas Television, I'm Nick Volpetti.
Well, that's all for me, guys. Back to you lovely ladies at the desk.
Thanks, Jose. Avery, what would you do if you saw a house on fire and people inside?
Well, I would try to help as much as I could, but I don't think it would be much. But thankfully, the professionals were there, and a pair of police officers were in Denton County, and they knew exactly what to do when that happened to them. Take a look.
A body cam video shows what happened a week ago in Little Elm when 2 officers spotted a burning home. They rushed inside after neighbors told them 2 girls were trapped inside. One of the girls was asleep in a bedroom upstairs as an officer found and carried her to safety.
Last night, Little Elm Mayor and Town Council honored those 2 officers, Hakir Ale Chavez and Marcial Coronado, for their bravery. The men received Little Elm's PD's Life Saving Award and the Medal of Valor.
Well, that's amazing. I think they deserve those medals.
100%. And
Yes.
we're so grateful we have those people like that right here in Denton County.
Most definitely. Thanks for watching ntTV Nightly News.
Join us again tomorrow at noon and tomorrow evening at 6 right here on North Texas Television.